This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, our thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+. And we got all the news and trailers revealed at this year's Star Wars Celebration. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, May 30th, 2022.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check one. All right, this is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hello, listener. What's up? Thanks for joining us, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
And joining us, the spiffiest droid this side of Alderaan, it's Rug2D2. How you doing, Rugs?
Beep, bop, boop.
Beep and bop and boop. I think that means...
That's all I know. That's all I speak in R2D2Es.
That means...
I really don't give a shit.
That's what that means in droid language.
You think you could ever suspend your disbelief in Star Wars where you could just understand a series of grunts or beeps from these different aliens and droids?
R2D2's beeps are very expressive. Sometimes he's sad and it's like beep, burp, burp. And you know he's sad. And then other times it's like boop, 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 like he just did some cocaine. I don't know. Do droids do cocaine? It's a question for another podcast.
Yeah.
Anyways, Star Wars. Why are we talking about Star Wars? Because there's a lot of Star Wars things to talk about. Let's do it.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Yay, Star Wars.
Yes, that also means we may not hear a lot from Anthony. But
Anthony will be sleeping and looking at his phone.
He'll be swiping right on Tinder.
Star Wars is the one of the top 3 cultural pop phenomenons that I don't understand.
It's floppy, John.
You know, that's very
Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and any 80s, 90s music that you consider good.
Oh my God, that's a loaded.
For me, it's Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't get Pokemon.
I get the Pokemon.
I don't get Harry Potter.
Okay, I'm kind of with you on that one too.
I'm actually with Harry Potter. Should be up there too for me.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings, I've turned around on.
Lord of the Rings, I'm totally down with.
Always love Star Wars, and I'm even back in on Star Trek with this Strange New World show.
Sure,
I fucking love it. It's great for
good.
You can jump right in. Anyways, the reason why we're going giving Anthony a floppy jock is because they held Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, California. Few days of announcements and guests, and it was live streamed. I watched some of it. So I'm just going to go over some of the big reveals and announcements and trailers released and get your guys' thoughts. Starting with the first thing they released was a teaser trailer for the Andor series that will be on Disney Plus this summer. Of course, this is about Diego Luna's character, Cassian Andor, who we met in Rogue One, and
spoiler alert,
everybody dies at the end. So it's a prequel. It's set 5 years before Rogue One. They've already confirmed 2 12-episode seasons.
What?
Yes, of Andor. And they put out this trailer. Ruggs, what'd you think of the trailer?
I thought the trailer was pretty good. For a character I don't give a crap about.
Yes, does anybody care about Cassian Andor?
I was like, hey, they're really trying to make me like this character, but I'm still not very interested in the show, even though I'm like, hey, this actually looks pretty good. But will I be tuning in? Only because I have a podcast.
I mean, it does look great.
My response.
They have money. Anthony, what'd you think of this Andor? Did it do anything for you?
They did about as good a job as you could for what Ruggs said, plus for a person like me who gives less than 0 fucks about Star Wars. I will defer to my friends first shared it with me in my little movie chat, and they all said it looked good, so I'll defer to them and say if they think it looks good, then it looks good.
I mean, it looked good, right? I'm kind of curious about, it looks like we're going to see the roots of the rebellion, where it started. So the plan is, the first season is 5 years before Rogue One, 12 episodes, and then you show the rebellion setting up, and the second season they said the other 12 episodes will take you right up to Rogue One. So it's cool to see the roots of the rebellion, them fighting against the man, fighting against, Big Brother or whatever. I'm not completely sold on this show. I'm trying to generate some interest. I don't know. It looks gritty. It's different, but the trailer was also kind of generic, They didn't really tell you that much, I thought. You do have Genevieve O'Reilly returning as Mon Mothma, same character.
What basically it does is just shows you like, okay, this is how much money we're spending on this show. This is what it looks like.
It looks like a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I guess Vader is out there somewhere in this. Is he going to be on the show? I don't know. I was lukewarm on this. Didn't quite give me a geek boner, but not a floppy jaw. I'm somewhere in the middle. So we'll have to see where this lands. This summer it's coming out. There's a lot of Star Wars coming out, a lot of Star Wars on TV. Listener, let us know what you thought. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's a closed group just for you. There's a link in the show notes. We got spoiler threads so you can talk about things in a place where people won't get mad. There is a Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1 spoiler thread on there currently. So if you need to talk about it, go there, geek out with everybody else. And for all the shows coming out, there'll be spoiler threads. Okay, so that was Andor. Moving on, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau come on out the stage. And apparently they had just gotten off the set of Ahsoka, which is almost done. They have confirmed Mando Season 3 will be February of next year, 2023, right? They talked about they're going back to Mandalore. Katie Sackhoff will return as Bo-Katan. And Babu Frick may be in it. I like Geek Boner. I remember Babu Frick.
The little guy.
Yeah, from the sequel trilogies. He was,
okay.
Which one was Babu Frick?
He was the little electrician creature alien. He was real small. And he
little puppet.
Things. Yeah,
he's
a
one of
puppet.
us.
Yeah. He's one of Rug's people.
Oh, this little guy.
Yeah, Babu Frick was great. He was I was like, oh, look at that guy. He's great.
A little gremlin.
He looks like a gremlin. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I said that little gremlin.
Yeah, he looks like a gremlin a little bit. So, Mando Season 3 coming out February 2023. Ahsoka will feature Sabine Wren, Anakin, Hera Syndulla, Ruggs, and more cast members. Yes. They have not cast Ezra or Thrawn yet. There will be more characters from Star Wars Rebels. They did show trailers for Mando Season 3 and Ahsoka only there. They're not online yet. Comments on any of those? Anybody excited for those? I think Mando is that's their crown jewel at the moment. You got to imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. Mando's their crown jewel. Mando Season 3 is kind of, I wouldn't say ruined, but you had to have watched Boba Fett, which makes for a very weird experience if you skipped Boba Fett.
Yes.
Jump into Mando Season 3.
Yes. If you decided to skip that, you're going to be very confused and be like, hey, how come Baby Yoda is back? How come Grogu is back with him? What happened? You got to watch. So it's crazy they made you do that, but they're
going to do like a Skippy thing, like a
catching you up.
Yeah.
They have to.
They'll skip you through it.
So that'll be merciful for people who never saw Boba Fett or didn't want to spend.
I mean, they have to. What are they going to do? They have to explain something. They got to either be an in-show flashback or a pre-show, preview or whatever, or a recap of what happened.
He also was talking about he's working on Season 4 of Mando, so there's another season. And just Dave Filoni and Favreau get Star Wars the best right now, except for Boba Fett. That was Favreau. And it was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. I think it was Rodriguez, too.
Oh, that's right. It was Favreau and Rodriguez, not Favreau and Filoni so much, maybe.
Yeah. I think that maybe Favreau let Rodriguez have too much control. I don't know. I really don't know why it didn't work out, but it was a strange... I mean, you can't hit him out of the park every time.
No, they should have just worked that into the Mando Season 3. That would have been fine. You didn't need a whole season. That would have been fine.
Yeah.
Next bit of news. So we talked about John Watts walked away from the Fantastic Four movie over at Marvel, and he walked right over to Star Wars and has a Star Wars TV show in development. This one is called Skeleton Crew, starring Jude Law. It's being developed by John Watts with Favreau and Dave Filoni. It is a coming-of-age story about 4 10-year-olds in the New Republic. This is the same time period as Mando and Boba Fett, post Return of the Jedi. He said it's a show with kids. It's not a kid show, so you can imagine like John, or if like John Hughes made a Star Wars TV show or something, or maybe even younger, Chris Columbus. Is that something you want, Ruggs? How does that sound? Skeleton Crew watching 4 10-year-olds.
Sounds terrible. Yeah.
Learn about
Floppy jock.
What the world is like with this New Republic.
I want adventure, goddammit. I don't want Jedis finding out that they have pubes. Like, I don't really know if that's what I really want to watch.
I mean, it's a different take on the Star Wars. You could do coming-of-age stories at that age.
John Watts is producing it.
He's developing it and producing it, and he's probably going to direct it.
He's too obsessed with kids, this John Watts.
Yeah, I know. That makes me suspicious. Look, he did a great job, bringing Peter and his coming-of-age story in the Spider-Man movies. So, I kind of trust the talent, but anything with you with Jude Law, Anthony? Are you excited? Jude Law is not playing one of the kids. Just to be clear,
playing one of the
that would be a stretch.
That would have been weird.
I like Jude Law.
Is he playing the character he played in The Talented Mr. Ripley?
Oh, he should. That guy was. That's
all I got on Jude Law.
Okay, that guy was suave. Although Matt Damon was a great character in that man.
Psychopath.
Yeah. Other people returning to Star Wars, they also announced this 6-episode animated anthology called Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. This one is set in the prequel era about different Jedis. It's going to be an anthology series. Like, they put out a screenshot of, like, baby Ahsoka. There'll be one about Anakin, Mace Windu, and Liam Neeson returning to voice Qui-Gon Jinn.
Nice.
That's
Get some
neat,
big dick energy in there.
Yeah, that's also from Dave Filoni, Ruggs. You want to see that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a 6-episode anthology. I might be out for that. Even if one sucks, the next one might be better, so.
I'm always down when it's about Jedis. Show me different things about Jedis. We don't get to see enough things about other Jedis.
Right.
And then Bad Batch Season 2 teaser trailer revealed. I love this show, Bad Biatch, as I like to call it, with Omega. Biatch. Ruggs, you like this show. Are you excited for this one to come back? I thought it was a good first season.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm not like over the moon about it, but I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things that I watch. I'll put it on.
What if I told you Emperor Palpatine is going to be in it, and it's going to be Ian McDiarmid, the Armid, coming back?
I saw the preview. It looks good.
Right? You see the Emperor there. 16 episodes again. They're long seasons, but they're good. So that's largely the main TV Star Wars news, and I'm going to talk about they had very little to say about Star Wars movies, which is curious because I feel like the future of Star Wars is going to be on television moving forward.
Right.
Do you think this is a better format for the Star Wars IP right now than investing in 2-hour?
I think that they're soul searching right now. They're trying to figure out what is Star Wars to people these days. We found out, though, throwing Luke Skywalker in something very much creates a buzz.
Yeah.
And that was like the most talked about Star Wars moment of like the past couple of years. So, when people say like Kathy, whatever Kennedy says, like we want to get away from the Skywalkers and the old characters, people still love those characters, but I do think that there's plenty of room for new stuff. The Obi-Wan show that we're watching right now has some new characters, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm down for that. Like, I'm down for new characters. But they're trying to figure out this balance. They're trying to figure out how can we forge a new path away from these characters and just the IP universe in general. And I think that they're trying things with the Bad Batch, and it seems to be working. I think the Bad Batch is like a decent one, and Mando is a good one. Where like it's like Mando's more tied to like the animated universe than anything else, right? Because you got Bo-Katan in there, and
right.
Ahsoka
Rebels
was in there.
Yeah.
So like there is this like new canon that they made for TV. So yes, Star Wars is going to be TV. I think TV's where all of the major Star Wars stuff is going to be birthed. And then I don't know what the movies are going to do. I don't even know where the movies should go from.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and they're not sure either. Clearly, Anthony, does it make a difference to you? What is the
like as a person who doesn't like Star Wars? What do you think is the most like if you had to put your money on something that would work? What would it be?
I would have thought TV would have been the better move for them because of how good Mandalorian was. That it even made me somewhat invested. But then you had that shitty Boba Fett show, and I was like, that was all garbage again. I think TV, I think obviously they want to do both. They have to nail the movie part just because that's where all the money really is.
That is where all the money is.
They're looking across the aisle at Disney going, damn, you guys keep making billion-dollar things, and we just ruined our trilogy here, and we don't really know where to go, and we don't have a set path. So although TV is fun and it's going to, keep them in the conversation, they have to figure out the movie piece.
They're both kind of important.
What would you bet on? Like, what would you bet on as far as what character? What's the thing that you think Star Wars has got to exploit this in the movies?
I think they got to get so far away from the trilogy that they just had. They got to introduce some new characters. They got to create some new lore, and they got to get away from what they said, the Skywalker saga. And at some point, you can't. They keep going back to the well.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that like Luke drew a lot of buzz, and it did, and that's all fine. But they have to start. They have to get away from that.
They can't
that shit
depend
is 70s.
on that. That's a crutch.
That shit originated in the 70s, and those. I mean, we'll talk about it. But I mean, they're casting a young Leia when the original character's unfortunately dead. Like they got to get away from this stuff.
It's an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah.
I'd love to sit there and talk to like Star Wars people about it and go like, all right, in this universe, like, what do you think? What could another story be like that's not a Skywalker story that's just as interesting? Because the Skywalker story is supposed to be like this, like he's like the chosen one.
It's
he's
like
the Messiah.
It's the
almost,
foundation of the whole thing. Unfortunately, kind of.
So it's like this Messiah thing that's supposed to like balance the force and really affect the whole entire universe. And how do you go beyond that? I don't know. It's crazy, but.
And now on the TV side, they're jumping, they're filling in gaps in between the sequels, between the trilogies, which is, it's great, but like, is there ever going to be anything ahead of that? Anything completely new? Because we'll talk about, there's a lot of retconning that's going to go on in continuity. They may just throw it out the fucking window, which could be a problem.
Well, comic books do it all the time
that's true.
To get new content out there.
Yes.
And I hate it, but at the same time, sometimes it's necessary.
You're absolutely right. Sometimes it is necessary.
You have to find the right thing to retcon, and you have to do it as good as it possibly can be done without causing that much harm.
I've never seen granted, I'm not as in-depth on every single franchise, but I've never seen, it seems curious to me that the Star Wars franchise, a lot of the new content they put out is all like prequel, obsessed with the past, fill in the blanks. Like if you look at just, again, across the aisle at Marvel hasn't released a ton of prequel stuff.
No, here and there.
Point to Black Widow, but like all the TV shows are in the middle of the movies. Like every TV show is in the middle of the movies. There's nothing that's like, okay, we're taking the baton from where the last trilogy left off, and we're moving forward. It's all like, let's keep looking at the past. Let's keep reeling in these characters you knew while introducing new characters. And it's like, I just don't get it.
If I were to kind of take over Star Wars and try and bring it into the future, I would explore, because the most important thing in Star Wars is the fact that people have figured out a way to commune with the Force, right? They figured out how to harness it. And there's different methods of harnessing the Force. There's different disciplines. And at this point in time, right, after the new trilogy, that's all like kind of like gone. Like, yeah, Rey wants to start like a new Jedi Academy or something like that. But like, at this point in time, it's no better time than to actually redefine like how to use the Force.
Because the Force is still out there, right? After that trilogy, and it's kind of been broken wide open. We saw like those kids in The Last Jedi.
Right.
So, yeah, what is going on
So
there?
it could be a whole new thing. It could be even like the end of the Jedi, but the beginning of some other new shit. And we can use the parallels of what's going on in our society, but not to the point where it's woke. But like I would say, like I would use like, okay, this is what always happens in every society. Like there's always going to be this kind of thinking and that kind of thinking.
That turns it into Star Trek a little bit.
Right.
If you think about it. Do they need to do that? Do they got to turn it into the Star Trek to make it more topical? I don't know.
Well, I just think that the idea that you can harness the power.
Yeah. Yep.
But there's certain ways to tap into it, and there's certain different disciplines. There's like the Sith figure out how to use your anger and all those kind of like really volatile emotions to kind of harness the power. And then there's this other way of kind of trying to connect with something deeper, and that's what the Jedi do. And that comes with a cost. So those are really interesting things to talk about, but they don't really ever get that far into it. And I think that it would be bordering on spiritual.
Yeah.
And I think that that'd be cool to explore now, but I don't know.
I often find myself thinking about how satisfying it would be if I could just force push a motherfucker whenever I want. Like, just so badass, right? Nobody could touch you. It would just be, and I love when they do it. I just want to fucking force push your ass down. So, the movies. This is all the news about the movies. The next Star Wars movie that's coming out late 2023 apparently will be Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie.
Oh, shit.
He's
That's a year away. So
yeah, it's not far because it's supposed to alternate Decembers with Avatar for like the next 6 years, right?
So do you think this is going to be like a silly, funny movie?
Yeah, it's going to be like your Three Stooges slapstick comedy with Taika. I don't know. Like, what kind of movie can Okay, so then...
Well, I mean, whatchamacallit, Jojo Rabbit was
serious.
silly, but also very serious at times.
That's a great movie. Like he could,
I love that movie. Yeah.
He could deliver the serious when he needs to. So Taika Waititi, Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, still that may be the next one. I don't know what's happening with that. And then the Rian Johnson trilogy still on the table. Long development, years away from that shit.
I think that Ryan could probably pull it off as long as he's not using with any of our toys. Like he could use his own toys there. Do his own thing.
Make up your own shit. But I would also like to see standalone Star Wars movies. Do you want them to abandon the trilogy format for the movies? I don't think it's necessary anymore. You told all the 9 chapters.
Abandon the what?
The trilogy format. Yes.
Like a trilogy is kind of central to Star Wars. You don't need it. But I think that every time that you put your foot forward, you're putting forward a chapter in like a large universe. So you kind of have to think of it as more larger than itself, the story that you're telling.
So you have to do like 10, 11, 12? Like
what I think they should do is I think they should stick with the trilogy format.
Oh.
They just need to have a plan for that trilogy and not go with separate directors for every movie that didn't talk to one another about where the story was going.
Yeah.
If they write it in such a way where they end the story that they want to tell in the actual movie, but leave a lot more open to explore without feeling like, oh, that's it. Like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, for example, like the second movie, it kind of stops in the middle of it, you know? And it doesn't really have an ending. And you kind of like, you have to watch a third movie. I think that you shouldn't have to do that. Like, I mean, there's no other way to enjoy Lord of the Rings than to watch all 3. You can't just watch one and just leave it at that.
No, yeah, you got to watch the whole thing.
So with the Star Wars movies, you could just watch one movie, like that first one, and it seems to end. You don't need a second movie there. And there's kind of like, but there's more to be told. And then I think they have to kind of approach it that way, where it's like the stories are self-contained, but they still overarchingly join together.
But they also set that kind of format of the second movie has a dark downer ending. Everybody loses, and you come back for a big third movie redemption thing, kind of thing, right?
Right.
I think give us 3 standalone movies, give it some time, work on a focused, developed trilogy years down the line. But in the meantime, the spark is there on TV. I don't know how they're going to get the Star Wars spark back on the big screen. That's going to be tricky.
It just takes one movie, Imran.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Although things seem dire at times for Star Wars, there's such a fervent fan base that if they hit on something, just like Mandalorian when they were rolling with that, everyone felt like, to me, as a non-Star Wars fan, everyone forgot that the last movie was shit because they were just like, oh my God, Mandalorian's amazing.
Yeah.
Look at Luke Skywalker. Look at Grogu. This is amazing.
Because it was the past. It was before. It wasn't, but it worked.
It worked.
And it still works. Will Taika do it? Taika could do it.
The thing about Taika is, it's one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it. I said this to my friends because there's so many Star Wars movies that had names attached to them, and then those names never either happened or they got pulled out.
They got fired.
Like the Patty Jenkins thing is still very odd to me.
Yes.
That's a movie they announced, and there's no timeline on when that's even going to come out.
Right. There's nothing.
There's nothing but negative reports.
You had the Lord and Miller fiasco.
Yeah,
on
it just
Solo.
feels like they really don't have any confidence in any direction.
Colin Trevorrow was supposed to do one of these movies. He didn't. Then he got booted.
See, I feel like the past is a safe bet.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's why they do the past, is because they know that they've done the past before and they know how it works. It's just weird trying to go outside of any of their comfort zones.
Right? They got to take a risk somehow that'll pay off. I mean, this sequel trilogy was a risk, but they brought back the old cast and still somehow just a fucking clunky mess. And you had all the pieces. There. You could have done something. Okay, moving on. The other last Star Wars thing is they had a trailer for a video game. The sequel to Jedi Fallen Order is called Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And you got Cal Kestis back with BD-1, his little droid. And this one takes place 5 years after the last game, which is a game I actually played all the way through. I actually finished this game. It was amazing. It was a great fucking fun game. Ruggs, you played this game, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't played Fallen Order?
No, I've been wanting to. I just never got to it.
It's fun.
So much shit has gotten in the way. But one day I will join with Jedi Fallen Order.
That game gives you the feeling of force pushing motherfucker off the edge of a cliff. You kind of get it in that game because he's just like, but Cal Kestis, great Jedi. Love to see him in live action someday. I won't be able to play this game. It's on PS5. I have a PS4. So I'll just watch somebody play it on Twitch. It's fine. Just as satisfying. Okay. That's it for Star Wars news at Star Wars Celebration. But let's not forget they also own Lucasfilm. And Lucasfilm does other things like Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford makes a surprise appearance.
Oh, shit.
At Star Wars Celebration for Indiana Jones 5. Does not bring a teaser or anything. No actual footage. There's just a promotional photo of him backlit in a cave somewhere walking over a bridge. But this is coming out June 30th, 2023. And the son of Lawrence Kasdan, Jonathan Kasdan, is writing it, and you got John Williams, who's like 90 fucking years old now, I think.
Wow.
He's still working. He's gonna.
He
do
already
the music.
knows what the theme song's gonna be. He doesn't need to do any work.
No,
He
it's
just,
already made. Just
replay it again.
directed by the James Mangold.
I like James Mangold.
I like James Mangold. I like Indiana Jones, but Harrison Ford, very old, right?
Very old.
Now, Kathleen,
Very old, and the fourth movie was supposed to I haven't seen it, obviously, because I'm an idiot and I don't watch movies that much. But it was supposed to hand the torch to Shia LaBeouf, and that just did not work.
Crystal Skull was not great.
Isn't he like his son in that movie?
Yeah, it's him and Marion.
Yeah.
I believe it was
Marion from the first movie.
Yeah, Marion comes back, and it's him and his son. So, I'm excited. Let's see if Harrison Ford could still do his stunts. But at some point, I would
Is that what you're watching it for? So he can still do his stunts?
He's doing his own stunts. No, I love, dude.
Is he known for doing his own stunts?
Yes.
Okay.
He did a lot of his own stunts on all the Indiana Jones movies. He's actually hanging there on the side of the tank.
That is true. In that first movie, I definitely see him hanging on that car as it.
Oh, yeah. He does a lot. I mean, not to the Tom Cruise level,
Right.
but
Not Jackie Chan or Tom Cruise.
not Jackie Chan. But he tries to be in as many of the shots as he can and hurts himself while he's doing it. Also, now here's my question: this is a great IP for Disney, for Lucasfilm. At some point, would you like to see Indiana Jones recast? Because
No.
Yes. Oh,
yes,
wow.
yes. Because why? Why?
I think it should just end. I think they did enough. Like, they don't need to do any Indiana Jones.
So you're going with the Indiana Jones is James Bond, Batman,
Yes,
where you just
absolutely.
recast
Yes,
the guy and
yes.
you start doing new adventures.
because this is money on the table for them. You can introduce a new
I
generation
don't know. I
to
think
Indiana Jones.
they already made the best movies. They
They
can't
did.
really do them anymore. Like, that's it. Like, how many adventures can one guy go on? It's too many.
Would you have to reboot the whole fucking thing? That would be confusing.
Like, he's not like this eternal symbol of fucking like Batman. Like this, he's like this thing. He's like a specific thing that does specific things. You can like reboot it and do like a modern version, but then who wants to see that? We have Tomb Raider.
How do you
It's
get
like we don't need like we have fucking the other one that just came out with the fucking with Tom Holland.
Yeah, you have the Uncharted.
Like we have like
Uncharted.
knockoffs galore. We don't need Indiana Jones. Like it's already inspired other copycats. We don't really need the further adventures.
What you do is you do a 12-episode spin-off on
There you
Disney
go.
Plus with the little Asian boy from, I think, part 2.
Yeah, no, he's
What's that kid's name?
but Short Round.
Yeah.
Short Round is great. Hang on, lady, we go for a ride. He nuts. He crazy. I know all his lines, and he's in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's acting again.
Is
Yeah.
he in there?
But you could cast a kid who's like it could be like the new Sidekicks TV show.
He beat someone's ass with a fanny pack in it.
There's fanny pack kung fu and Everything Everywhere. It's amazing. It's so good.
I think it'd be tough. I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah.
So I think your idea, there is like some thought to he's just an iconic character and you can just recast him. But it'd be tough because Harrison Ford is so identified as
They recast
Indiana
Solo,
Jones.
which Kathleen Kennedy said was a mistake, but then kind of walked that back and said, "I don't know what I'm talking about."
Yeah, it's just tough because that's a 40-plus-year-old character.
I think that it's different in Star Wars because Star Wars like exists like in like a larger scope. Like Indiana Jones is a very specific thing. It's his performance. It's him. I don't know I guess you can recast anything. If you really want to, you can. But the question is, are you going to make a better movie than fucking Spielberg? You're not.
You're never going to make a better movie than the originals. And does it need to stick into the 30s through the 60s, which is where he kind of lives, this Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely. Yeah, it's one of those things where you hit the right guy at the right time, and he's just like the energy he has in that role. It's tough to really. It's tough to see anyone playing that role other than him.
Yeah, and if you do change it and update it, it just becomes Nathan Drake. It becomes Tomb Raider. It becomes something that people have already tried to do.
I'm thinking about like the next generation when because they'll discover Indiana Jones and they'll be like, why aren't they still making these? Recast them. Like, how do you get another generation still into it? Is that even necessary? Is that even something that's important? I don't know.
There's certain things that can be eternal and certain things that are have its time.
You had to be there. There's certain things you had to be there.
Or are there certain things that are just made very well and don't need to be remade?
True.
I think that, I don't know. There's some things they should just not touch.
They tried
Just
that TV
leave.
show, remember, with I think wasn't it River Phoenix, or it was somebody else in the show?
Young Indiana Jones, yeah.
Well, it was him when he was a teenager doing adventures. I remember that being okay. I can't remember. Anyways, we're getting Indiana Jones 5. And again, I'll believe it when I see the trailer. I still put out a trailer. It's coming out next year.
No, that one's definitely coming out.
Okay, that's coming out. That one should be fun. All right, here is a trailer for a 80s nostalgic hit IP from them. I'm talking about Warwick Davis as Willow.
Geek boner.
Love the Willow.
Who recommended that? Was that Jose?
I forget. It was a Patreon movie.
Yes, we're gonna get creamed for not remembering
Oh
who
my god!
recommended
Now
that.
you're gonna make me look this up.
You should because it came about because I said Warwick Davis. All I know him from is Leprechaun.
That's
and then
right.
the guy that recommended it was like, "You don't know Willow? Boom, I'm doing Willow."
Mad Mardigan.
Mardigan is amazing, and it's a fun movie.
Val Kilmer at his best right there.
Oh, it was Jose Ibarra, Anthony.
Yeah,
Good
see,
memory.
I got a good memory. Yeah.
So, Jose, thanks for picking that movie. So, this is a teaser trailer for a Disney Plus show that takes place 20 years after the original movie. And I got to tell you, out of all the stuff out of Star Wars Celebration, this got me
Geek boner.
the biggest geek boner. This looks fantastic. Anthony, what'd you think? You mentioned Mad Mardigan. The girl in there is Mad Mardigan's daughter.
Which one was Val Kilmer?
That's
was Mad
Val Kilmer.
Mardigan.
Yeah, like the best, one of the best characters. And Warwick Davis is just great as Willow.
So first off, props to Val Kilmer. I don't know if he's in anything because I didn't see Top Gun Maverick.
I believe he is. He's in that movie.
Okay,
I heard.
Well, he's kind of got like a mini resurgence this weekend for some which I never thought would happen in my life. That being said, yeah, this trailer is making Willow to look better than it has any right to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I remember reviewing Willow and being like, this is kind of fun, but this is really lame. but throw in some like 21st century technology and maybe it looks like some love and care, and this looks like it's pretty good. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be an Advent viewer watching it every week, anticipating it, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. It's cut well.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. It has a little bit like the Ron Howard-ness of that the first movie had, but like you said, the effects look great. It looks like a fun fantasy adventure. You got Tony Revolori in this, Flash Thompson. Erin Kellerman is in this, who we saw as it's the curly-haired girl from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the terrorist girl. And she was in, what's the other thing she was in? Oh, she was in Solo also.
Right.
She's great. Ruggs, what'd you think of this?
Looks okay. I like Willow. You know, I'm surprised that this is coming out. I'm like, all right, do we want to watch this? But like, yeah.
That was going to be my question is 20, whatever the hell, how long ago Willow was out, maybe 40 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. Did you ever think we would get a Willow TV series? Right now.
This is what they're doing. They're taking all the IP that they have and they're like dusting it off and just seeing if it draws anything. Is anybody going to watch this? Can we either nostalgia bait people or can we get a whole new audience that has no idea about what this is, but we can use this IP because we know what it is and it's better than making shit up that we don't know was. See, like they have something that worked at one point, right? They put it out, the movie, and it's got a cult following and people watched it. So they have something that kind of worked. And so they're just, instead of going and making something new, they're just going to keep dredging up these kind of things and seeing if it sticks. And I don't blame them because they're used. That's a smart approach, right? You're going to use something that once had a life and try and reinvigorate it. But sometimes you just scratch your head going, who's really clamoring for this? But I don't know. If they make it good enough, anything can happen. So it's kind of a weird thing. Like we have to just kind of see what it is. If it's great, then regardless if it's based on an old IP, if they do come up with a good show that's worthwhile, like the whole thing with Halo.
Yeah.
Like Halo, it's like, all right, they used the IP to get me to tune in, but they actually had a pretty decent show there. And I ended up being interested in watching it. And I think enough people watch that show that it's going to come back for another season. So
what's interesting to me about Willow is there isn't a more average fantasy IP out there than Willow. Like you look at the Rotten Tomatoes, it's 52%. Yeah. For me, watching it personally, I was like, meh, it's okay. It has a cult following, but no one brings up. I've other than Jose Ibarra saying Willow, and I've never even heard of Willow. Yet you watch that movie and you go, if people wanted to mine this for more stuff, there's a lot of like tracks laid that you could mine this for more stuff if people give a fuck about it. So it's like one of those things where it's like there's definitely more probably stories to be told, obviously, and there's a lot of like mystery and lore that you can dig into with the whole fantasy aspect, but it was also like the most average IP ever.
It kind of was, but it was, on the charm of its actors, it kind of got big. So Willow came out in 1988, 34 years ago. 34 years later, they're going to make Willow a thing again, right?
Oh, shit.
That's crazy, and I want to see it. I'm there for it. Mad Mardigan's great. I want to see his daughter. I want to see if they do something with Val Kilmer. It'd be crazy. Or
Isn't he like in rough shape?
But yeah, he
Yeah.
has
Val
to
Kilmer?
talk. He talks out of a voice box out of his
Oh,
throat and
jeez.
stuff. And
I mean, it'll be cool to see Warwick Davis again.
yeah,
But
they need his help again. They need his magic, and he's just so charming. He's perfect in his role. It was huge. I just remember when I was a kid, it was huge, and it was.
well, the shot of him being a giant and there being little people
oh yeah,
was
that's great too.
kind of threw me off.
That's like Peter Dinklage as
Yeah, in
Eitri.
Infinity War.
Yeah. He's like, how does it feel now, you pipsqueaks? So I'm geeked for Willow, and aside from that, I don't know what I'm excited for the. I mean, of course, Mando season 3, but they didn't show anything. Andor, I need more. I don't know, but they got a lot of stuff coming out. It's not stopping. Star Wars will rule the television. Listener, check out our TeePublic shop. We have some great podcast swag. You visit jockandnerd.com/shop. Get yourself a hoodie, a magnet, a cup, a mug, travel mug, a cell phone case with a bunch of designs on it and Rug Boy's face. You can have Rug Boy with you all the time. You can have Rug Boy in your pocket looking at your junk all day. Who doesn't want that?
Jeez.
The
fuck?
Last thing in the news does not have to do with Star Wars at all. But last week, we reviewed Captain America, the Winter Soldier, a movie directed by the Russo brothers,
That's right.
written by Marcus and McFeely,
Right.
starring Chris Evans. Now, what if I told you that this year, the most expensive Netflix film to ever be produced at a budget of $200 million is being made by the Russo brothers? It is written by Marcus and McFeely, and it stars Chris Evans.
Oh, shit.
Among other people. It's called...
Well, he's not the main star,
He's not.
is he?
Ryan Gosling is the main star, and it's called The Gray Man, and it seems to be a movie about assassins trying to take each other out. You know, your basic spy thriller. You guys, Anthony, did you check out this trailer? And first of all, does this talent, like, give you a geek boner at all?
Geek boner?
Because the talent alone, I'm like, oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, there's the talent. So you have Chris Evans, you have Ryan Gosling, you have Ana de Armas, right?
Yep,
Her-
Ana de Armas is in it.
and you have, all the people you mentioned. So that's all good. Oddly enough, like, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans are both heartthrobs, yet also modern action stars, I would say.
Kind of look alike, too.
Kind of look alike, yeah. So you've got like these two hot guys going at it, which if you did this in the 80s, the equivalent would have been like Arnold and Jean-Claude or
Sure.
something like that. Like
Yeah.
maybe not like the top tier, or maybe like Jean-Claude and Steven Seagal
Right.
going at it
Yep.
or something like that. So you have that. It's kind of, or I would say it'd be like the Universal Soldier, where you had Jean-Claude and,
Yes, yep.
and Dolph Lundgren
Yep.
in the same movie. You're like, oh my God, I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
So you have that kind of that vibe, but then it's on Netflix.
Yes.
And it's like Netflix throws a lot of money at big stars to sometimes churn out garbage.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know what to think about it. Although I would have to say, though, even as a sexual man, seeing Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans on screen kind of got a little boner. Yep. That's not. And putting them in badass roles ain't the worst thing in the world.
And even though Chris Evans has a porn stash, it kind of works.
That makes it better. Makes it better.
He's playing this crazy character, like this fucking bad guy. I love the line where he's like, if you want to make an omelet, you got to kill a few people. Like, he's just playing this fucking ruthless killer. You also got Alfre Woodard, Billy Bob Thornton in this, Jessica Henwick. But
I hope it's good.
we've reviewed Red Notice that had huge stars, and it's a fucking shit movie.
That is
Right.
a shit movie.
But the Russos weren't doing
The
it.
Russos, what do you think, Ruggs? Do you have hope that this... Also, you spent $200 million on a movie. How are you going to make your money back? One subscriber at a time? I don't
I'm
understand
sure
this
it's going
model.
to be the most blasé
Oh, God, I hope
plot.
not. Fuck.
Like, I think it's going to be the most blasé, like, plot that you've ever heard. Like, it's going to be like, boilerplate, like, okay, this is a spy versus spy film with a
Right.
twist here
Right.
and there and blah, blah, blah. But if the action is handled in a way, like, because, like, that's what John Wick is, right? John Wick isn't anything new. And it's just a revenge, it's kind of a revenge film, and
Yep.
the action was great.
Yep.
He was sitting there capping people in the head and, methodically taking people out. And I was like, oh, this action is worth watching the film.
Yeah.
So if Ryan Gosling this is going to be like his most action-y type thing that he's ever done. Like he's done some
Overdrive?
action stuff. Yeah, he's done that. But like, I think that this is even more. This is way more. I think this is a huge budget. I think it's the biggest budget action movie he's ever been in.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. I mean, like the Russo brothers, we're gushing over how they did Winter Soldier. They've made other movies that in the Marvel universe that we all like to a degree. So did they make that movie with Black Panther? Or they just produced it?
They produced, what was that, 21 Bridges?
Did they produce that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did produce 21 Bridges.
And Extraction.
Extraction they produced, which had good action, but they did Cherry with
Tom Holland,
which was a bomb.
So that was a bomb. And 21 Bridges, I've watched that. It's okay. It's not great. It's just okay.
There's just some questionable films
That was
there
producing. This is direct. They're directing, and they got Marcus and McFeely,
and they got a shit ton of money,
and they got 200. I'm hoping it's up to like Extraction level, if not better.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like
because I like Extraction.
They did the same thing with Michael Bay, and that was a fucking travesty.
What they got to do, the problem with Extraction was fun. Don't get me wrong, but they didn't let Chris Hemsworth really cook in that movie.
Yeah.
They didn't let him just throw back to the 80s.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at here is they have to have the same level of action, but they have to have Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling just go on screen and just go, hey, do your best 80s impression throughout the entire film. Do your best John Wick / Arnold impression. You guys are better actors, so just be better actors and go ham it up. And if they can make it fun, where it's just like throughout the entire movie, you're just waiting till these two fucking hot men shoot at each other.
Yeah.
Like if you do that, I think you got a winning formula.
Well, I mean, in the trailer, I feel like Chris Evans is having fun with his character already.
Hopefully they both take their shirts off. Like, go for it.
They got to get topless and dump 2 guns, jump in the air, shooting at each other. The action in this trailer looks fucking amazing.
I hope Anna de Armas and Jessica Henwick like hook up with some of those. Like it's got to be like that.
Yeah, Anna de Armas.
That's the way to make it work.
Fighting a little bit too. Yeah,
that make them fight, but then to make them hook up. Like just just give me like hot people fucking fighting and
then
having
fucking
sex.
You need unnecessary sex scenes. Like this sex scene is completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
for
they
the plot.
need to at some point be in a hotel and then like push each other through a door, and there's a couple that's having sex on the bed with big floppy boobs.
Well, they got to like do a thing where they like confront each other, and they both the like Anna de Armas and Chris Evans or Ryan Gosling, like they're hunting each other, but then there's this like sexual tension in them hunting each other, and they're like, let's just fuck. I think I'm just like wishing what this movie is without even really reading what this is going to be.
That's like every 80s movie we've reviewed recently.
I think this could be good. I think to me it kind of looks awesome.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, it's Netflix. Like, how good can it be? When Netflix invests in action movies, they hit like 1 out of every 7.
Yeah. That's the only concerning thing. And maybe like you want to make some money, Netflix, put it on in the theater first. Maybe you make that you make some of that 200 million back. Yeah, that's a lot of money you're throwing at this. July 22nd, anyways, global release.
Maybe we'll review it if it's good.
Yeah, I mean, we did Red Notice and it was fucking shite. We should take a look at this one.
We did Red Notice and we did that one with Jamie Foxx and we did that one with Charlize Theron.
Yeah, Old Guard. I forgot that Power. None of those.
Power.
Those are all kind of
good.
forgettable.
Yeah, it's. You watched that other one. There's other ones you've probably watched that were not worth reviewing.
No.
The only one that was good, that was an action movie, was Extraction.
Yeah. So far, they have yet to top Extraction to me. All right.
Don't count out Boss Level with Frank Grillo.
Oh, maybe we should review that. That's a fucking great movie.
I'm just kidding.
It's time travel. It's action. It's Frank
I
Grillo.
just wanted to say Frank
That's on
Grillo.
Hulu too, so that technically doesn't count.
Yeah, it does not count.
Yeah, Netflix. Meanwhile, Netflix is like, we got to lay off everyone, and then they're spending like $200 million.
Because they got to get Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans on screen.
Yeah, that's half the budget right there, probably.
I mean, don't underestimate having those two men on screen.
This is just,
That's getting me excited.
I can't look away. I don't know what it is.
Once I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's these two fucking hot men. You just need to throw in like Chris Hemsworth or.
Oh no, that's too much.
Yeah, it would I'd break the TV in excitement.
Geek boner.
I stick it up my asshole.
Something like that. All right,
Jesus Christ.
we'll see.
You just take it to the next level where it's just like, no, you're actually like gay for these guys.
Yeah, there's anything wrong with it. They're too
Wagner
good.
Mora is in this movie too.
they're too
Fucking
good-looking
El
men.
Chapo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Odds are one or both of them will have their shirt off. You know they will. So
One can only hope. Yeah.
One can hope.
July 22nd, we can all see it. Okay, let's take a quick break here, play some promos, and then we're going to go back into Star Wars past and talk about a middle-aged Obi-Wan Kenobi right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio. Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee. Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute. But we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies,
TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week, along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners, so they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher.
Facebook.
Spotify,
And any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
And nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the Jock and Nerd podcast, it's a great time to join the Jock and Nerd fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. There's a link in the show notes. You can support the show. We can become kind of a producer of the show, give back to all the entertainment value we have been putting out for 7+ years now. And you get stuff like you get access to an exclusive podcast feed that has bonus content, instant reactions, post shows. The shows come out early. There's Discord benefits. You get access to our private Patreon-only Discord server where we do monthly hangouts. Check our Patreon for the date of the next Discord hangout for June. And then there's also a You Pick a tier where you can force us to watch and review any movie you want. And that could be a good movie or a really bad movie. But it's been a great journey, watching things that somehow the three of us, it's always something that one of us has watched and the other one hasn't. But I've loved all our Patreon movies. It's always lots of fun. So jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Join it today. Let's get to this week's review. I'm going to do it like this. Hold on.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Give me the Star Wars. Don't let them have.
There's my composition, a little bait and switch. You thought it was
What
the real
happened there?
Star
Oh,
thought it was
Bill
the
Murray
real
in
Star
there.
Wars, and you get Bill Murray from Saturday Night Live singing the real Star Wars. That's the real Star Wars to me.
That old gag.
We are reviewing Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Disney Plus 2-episode premiere. Here is your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This series directed by Deborah Chow. Every episode, of course, starring Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi and a bunch of other people we'll get to. Anthony, in layman's Star Wars terms, what happens in the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan?
Well, this is a prequel.
Correct.
So this is a between episode 3 and 4.
Correct. Wow, good. Yeah.
And at this point, the Jedi are been massacred, and there's not a lot left, and they're being hunted. And Obi-Wan, or better known as Ben,
old Ben Kenobi,
right now,
yeah,
is in Tatooine, holding up his end of the bargain by watching over Luke as a kid, even in the shadows. So he's watching over Luke, but there are these fucking motherfuckers from I don't know. They're like seem evil. And they're hunting Jedi, and there's one lady that is just obsessed with hunting Obi-Wan. And that's what happens in the first episode. And in the second episode, we skip ahead, and she's still hunting him, but she's figured out that she's trying to hunt him, but the rest of her crew is like, no, you're a little too big for your britches, madam. You need to back off. And Obi's watching over Luke, but hears that Leia, who's on some other planet, and being watched by the guy from, I think, the cop TV show, I think.
Jimmy Smits, playing Bail Organa.
Yeah. She gets captured, and like an old cowboy or something along those lines, Obi-Wan's drawn back into action because they know that he's got to also help her because that's Luke's little sister or twin sister. But that's actually a ruse because that lady, I don't know her name, but she's really into hunting Obi-Wan, has basically used Leia as bait.
Her name is Reva. Those are the Inquisitors, but she's also known as third sister, and the other guy's like fifth brother.
Got it.
And there's Grand Inquisitor is the bald dude.
So to summarize, I feel like this is a show about Obi-Wan not wanting to use the Force, stay in the shadows, just watch Luke and live a quiet life. But he's like that old samurai cowboy that just gets pulled back into the battle and can't get out of it.
So it's old Man Logan, basically.
I mean,
Yeah,
a little
kind of.
bit. It's a little bit like, like The Godfather when they're like, every time I think I'm out, they're pulling me back in.
Yeah. I was getting those old, mafia, cowboy, samurai vibes.
A couple of crazy things right off the bat is the whole Leia thing. I was like, oh shit! Oh, I had no idea this was gonna. I thought it was gonna be about him and like Luke doing things, and they throw in this Leia thing, and it was crazy, unexpected, but it kind of worked. What'd you think overall, Anthony? Let's just start there.
I mean, I didn't want to shut it off.
Okay, that's a plus.
That's the biggest compliment it's going to get.
I would say Ewan McGregor is 10 times more believable as someone that can fight than what's his face playing Boba Fett with a pot belly.
Yep.
What's that guy's name?
Tamura Morrison, who was in episode 2. We'll get to that.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So there's 2. You got 2 things going.
Yeah.
3, I saw a back to tank, but I wasn't a ton of flashbacks with a back to tank, so that was good.
Yeah.
4, I liked the, like I said, alluded to the like pulling the guy back in type vibe where he's just trying to live a quiet life and not really get involved in trouble anymore, but trouble keeps calling his name. So I like that. 5, you have a child actress playing Leia that goes between like extremely horrible acting and kind of amusing acting. So that's also fun.
She's inconsistent. Her writing is inconsistent too, a little bit.
Well, she's like, how old is that kid?
She's supposed to be
much.
10. She's a 10.
She looks like she's 5.
Well, because it's been 10 years. They're both 10. Luke and Leia are 10 years old right now.
And then 6, I like the Hong Kong type space city that they're in. Or maybe that's...
Daimu. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Daimu, but I was going to call it what they had in Falcon and Winter Soldier. That city.
Madripoor?
Oh, it looks like Madripoor a little bit.
Yeah, I liked Madripoor a lot. Yeah. So that was fun. And 7, you had Flea.
Fucking Flea is in this. I was like, is that Flea?
Oh my god!
So and then 8, you had Sung Kang, who I didn't recognize at first, playing.
He's fifth brother,
playing a guy with white face. So they're doing the weird white face thing on an Asian. That's kind of strange.
It's a white face.
So overall, I didn't think it was bad. There you go. I named 8 good things about the show.
Okay, that's very interesting. You got a Softy brother in this too. The guys who brought you
who?
Uncut Gems, Benny Softy.
Oh, he's in this?
He's the Jedi that they strung up.
Oh, that is Softy Brother?
That's a Softy
You
brother.
can tell it was real Disney because they wanted to string him by his neck.
No.
You can't do that.
No, they didn't hang him.
They did a shoulder harness thing on him.
Yeah, they killed him.
Oh, look,
yeah.
we hung him.
Yeah,
we hung him by his shoulders.
Yes, they killed him and then they
This is
hung him
Star
up.
Wars. We can't hang him by his neck.
I thought they were going to show a noose around his neck for a second. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, I'll throw in 9.
Yeah.
You got a lady's hand get cut off. They got rid of the the hand cutting off thing. They didn't do it in like the 3rd episode. They just did it right away, which is nice. Let's just get rid of the hand because that's what we do in Star Wars. We cut off people's arms.
That's
there
a
you
thing.
go. Overall, I did like it.
Oh,
so
wow.
there you go.
All right.
But I mean, I wouldn't continue watching it unless you guys made me, which is what's going to happen. So
We're going to make you because they're still, they teased Anakin in the back to tank at the end of episode 2.
That was a nice little tease.
Yes, that was Anakin.
But I'll leave the real analysis to the guys that like Star Wars.
Ruggs, what'd you think? The first episode opens with Order 66, and I love seeing Order 66 every time because it's just a fucking shocking thing.
Yeah, they're killing kids. I love that.
Yeah, they just fucking kill it all. I'm wondering.
Did that happen on Route 66?
You get your kicks and Jedi kills on Route 66.
Okay, go ahead.
I was wondering if Reva was like one of the girl who's after.
It's
Ben
plausible.
was one of those kids, that because they're Jedis, clearly.
Because they're 10, and then that's 10 years have passed. So it could be a 20-year-old Reva. Does Reva look 20? I don't know, but it's in the realm of possibilities. Did you like this, Imran?
You know what? I dug a lot of it. I had some issues with it, but overall, I thought it was really good. I thought the directing was really good. I thought Ewan McGregor, again, he's great in this role. It was great to see him back as Obi-Wan. He does a lot of the acting with the eyes also. And there's a huge things that happen in this episode, in this first 2 episodes, right? Like he meets Princess Leia for the first time. He finds out Anakin is alive. And, that was a crazy moment. I did not know. And I love how, like you said, Anthony, I love how he's got this blue collar life. He's cutting meat. He's taking the space bus home. He rides a space camel. He doesn't want to get involved to the point where the Jedi comes to help him. And he's still like, look, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. But then he's like, I just run. And he could have saved him. And then he sees him get killed. Like, that's got to hurt that and he hasn't used his force powers in so long. He doesn't
want to be sensed by anyone.
Right, because the minute he does it, which is why I think Anakin wakes up at the end, because he sensed Ben save Leia. Let's talk about Princess Leia for a second, because...
Wait, did Ruggs like it?
Oh, Ruggs, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. There was parts where I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You're doing this. But like anytime that Leia was on screen running away from people.
Oh my God.
Like what the fuck are we watching? Is this Home Alone?
Dude.
Like what is this? Like no, like you catch the kid immediately and the kid has no way of doing anything.
I wrote that down and I was like, how the hell are these people not able to catch this child with the shortest legs in the world?
Both episodes have adults that can't catch a 10-year-old child for some reason.
Yeah. So
I think they're trying to like get across that she's cunning and like way
slippery.
smarter than her age.
Yes, but
that's tough.
And that's part of it is a little inconsistent. While she's very smart and she knows her ships and she knows what's down, but then sometimes she's just like a little kid and just dumb things like run off when they're hunting her. Like, what do you think?
They need to cast someone that looks 10, not 5.
She does look
a little
so
young.
She had some fucking funny lines though.
Right, but anybody could say those.
Where she's like, are you sure you're a Jedi? You look all old and beaten. And he's like, you're my daughter. And she goes, granddaughter, maybe. He goes, what was that? She goes, nothing. I thought that was funny. But like, she's smart in the one episode and then she just does dumb, like, what's going on, fucking Princess Leia. Why are you being an idiot? She's precocious and annoying at the same time, which kind of works for Princess Leia, right? That's who she would be.
Absolutely.
Also, fucking Kumail.
Geek boner.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we talk about, I love Kumail's role as this fake Jedi, Haja Estries, who's just kind of scheming. He's helping people, but he's also taking money from people.
The first thing I wrote about when I saw Kumail was Kumail sucks.
That's not true.
Oh, shit.
I just wanted to say that he sucks just to make you
I was like, yes.
upset.
Look, he works as like the comic element, well cast.
Let me ask you this about Kumail.
Yes.
Does Kumail play any other role than being Kumail in anything that he does?
No, he doesn't.
Is he just like, this is the way I'm going to act every time I'm in something? Because he acts the same way he acted in Eternals.
Yeah, no. His best movie is The Big Sick, where he literally plays himself, right? He's playing it. It's his story. He plays himself. It's an amazing movie. But that's what I kind of love about the Kumail. He's just sounds like Kermit the Frog.
It's amusing him playing a Jedi that's not really a Jedi, but it's also like, this is just Kumail.
He's not a Jedi, right? He's faking because he's using magnets and shit.
Hell no, he's not a Jedi. Why does he help? Why does he help though at the end?
I don't know. He shoots down one of the bounty hunters, and he's like, I don't. He's just like, because I want to help. I don't know.
The scene before that, they get the thing, the notice that the Obi-Wan's wanted, and there's a bounty for him, and him and the kid are like, let's get him. Like, let's get that bounty.
Yeah, let's get him.
And the
first.
next scene, he confronts Obi. He's like, go to that ship. I'm going to help you. Who else can you trust? And then like he gets force mind read, as if like he was actually trying to help.
Well, did he realize that he's an actual Jedi? Did he see him save Leia in the fall? I don't remember.
Well, no, I think it's because isn't Obi-Wan Kenobi's name known as being a Jedi?
Yes.
So once the notice goes out,
oh, that's right. Everybody's calling him that.
It was like, oh, it's Obi-Wan. Holy shit!
And that was kind of
the last Jedi.
That was kind of a neat John Wick moment where all of a sudden he's the target and everybody's after him. Kind of, but but here's the problem. Ruggs, tell me if I'm wrong or not. Did Leia never did? Because she sends the message, help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. You work for my father. I feel like she never met him before. She would have remembered this, that it was Ben. Or does she not know that Ben is Kenobi, even though everyone is yelling his name in front of her?
Well, I don't know. Like, you could probably take it as you work for my father in finding me, and you rescued me from my father because my father asked you to. So you could take it that way. Or, I mean, you can. It is like a mental gymnastics.
Yeah, they're making things muddy a little bit,
but yeah, I mean, it's in the. As I said, if it's in the realm of it's a retcon, but it's in the realm of not doing much harm besides one line, so it's okay, and it's not even that far off. So it's like you could let it slide, I guess, but.
I mean, we're going to see the first time Ben sees Anakin as Vader on this show. Like, that's fucking crazy.
I'm just dying to know. It's like how bad this Darth Vader is going to be, because the acting of that dude is like some of the worst acting that I've ever seen in a Star Wars film. Yeah. And there's a lot of bad acting in Star Wars. So, like... You really have to be like really shitty to be at the top of that list.
That's George Lucas is not good at directing actors. He doesn't give a fuck. He just lets them do whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the director. Now, Anthony, remember you kept saying, are we going to see Hayden Christensen's face? Well, we kind of did. It looks like he's going to be under all that prosthetic scarred fucking shit, but that presumably were his eyes right under in the back of the tank.
You would assume.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering how they. Like what he's casted for, because I would assume he needs to be Vader, right?
Yeah, once he's in the Vader suit, that could be anybody.
Yeah, well, it's James Earl Jones' voice,
right? Will we hear James Earl Jones? This is my other question. When he talks.
No one wants to hear Hayden Christensen's voice under Darth Vader.
No,
but then if you have him unmasked, you have him as Hayden. Like, why would he walk around looking like that?
No, he doesn't. He's just in the back of the tank. Listen, when you...
No, I know what I'm saying.
What if his condition keeps degrading and like he can't, he has to be more dependent on the suit and add more stuff to the suit to keep him alive. So it's like at first he just needs robotic legs and breathing apparatus because, whatever, but now it becomes more and more dependent on the suit and he can't spend time outside of it.
Well, that's probably what they're going to do, because you casted Hayden Christensen. You don't cast Hayden Christensen to put him under a Vader suit and have him talk like James Earl Jones.
But yes, I just think it's so funny that his vocal cords got so burned up that he sounds like James Earl Jones. I don't know. Oh no, it's the voice modulator.
Right.
But he was in the suit at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like, they put the suit on him right away. So like he's just out.
Well, In Return of the Jedi, when he takes off the mask, he talks like the other dude.
He talks normal. Yeah, he doesn't talk like.
So there is precedent for that too. So just want to throw it in there.
I am very, very grateful as the non-Star Wars fan that I am that they did that 5-minute recap because
that was great.
I watched all of it and I was like, oh, that's all that stuff happened. Okay, cool. Now I understand where we're at here. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that was a really good recap of the prequels, and it made it seem like really epic, almost better than watching the prequels. Just watch that recap. Tells you everything you need to know. That was important. So I was wondering how they're going to do that, and they set it up well. A couple other fun Easter eggs in episode 2 that when he's on Dayu, when he's talking to that girl with the pink hair who offers him spice, that's Ewan McGregor's daughter. When he sees that clone trooper on the ground asking for change, that's fucking Tamura Morrison.
I thought that was. Yes. I was like, really?
Yep.
He's every clone
warrior. They cloned him off the same guy. So that was kind of fun to see him there.
I was like, I saw that and I went, that looks like Tamura Morrison. But I'm like, it can't be Tamura Morrison. They can't bring that fucker back.
They fucking brought
I guess
him back.
That makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
So, and like, didn't Obi-Wan work with the clone troopers? Like, could that be somebody he did, like, he recognized?
It could be, briefly? But I mean, all of those troopers are they look like the same guy. You can't really tell which one it is.
That's a good point.
I mean, is it Rex? I don't know.
Well, the Bad Batch though kind of makes them a little different looking.
Yeah, they're the Bad Batch. They don't.
They're defective.
Yeah, they're not the normal clones.
I do love that third sister has got a fucking boner for Ben so much that she fucking stabs the Grand Inquisitor. He's not dead because he's in Rebels. He's not dead.
No, he can't die. They're probably gonna throw him in the back to tank.
Yeah, just get him to the back to tank him.
Get him to the. I think that they have 2 stomachs too. So like, I don't think
he missed one. Okay.
Yeah, I was watching Star Wars Theory. He's like the biggest Star Wars nerd ever.
He's not dead.
And he said that. So if he said that, I believe him. The whole thing is that Reva knows that Obi-Wan was good friends with Bail Organa.
Right. That's how she sets the trap.
She does not know that Leia is Darth Vader's daughter.
No, she definitely.
And I don't even think Darth Vader knows at this point.
No, because didn't they tell him the kids died?
Yeah.
And then Ben, they split him up. Or Bail Organa took Leia, and then Ben took Luke to Tatooine. I'm glad we got off Tatooine.
But Darth Vader somehow starts to sense their presence, right?
But he only sensed them when they were like grown up, when he started training.
When they're using the Force.
Yeah.
That connects them.
But she's Force sensitive, though, wouldn't she be at this point? I don't know.
Possibly. And that's another thing that's like that Luke Skywalker's uncle.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know. How does he have an uncle? I don't remember.
Uncle Owen. I don't remember.
How is he related to Darth Vader? Like, is Anakin like a stepbrother or something? His mom, I don't know, took in another kid or something? Because my theory is that when I don't know this for a fact, I didn't read the canon how that happened, but when Anakin went away with Qui-Gon Jinn, her mom remained on Tatooine, and she might have like maybe fostered another kid, and that's like her like stepbrother or Anakin's like brother, but not really. So they're not real. They're not related by blood or anything. I don't know. Oh, another thing is that Obi-Wan's supposed to be learning how to commune with Qui-Gon, but he doesn't do it. I don't think he ever gets to do it because he's hiding.
Yes, he can't use the Force. You can see him as a Force ghost.
I think he really wants to speak with Qui-Gon, but maybe that'll happen.
Maybe we'll see that. That would be crazy.
I'll give the show credit. It feels already a lot bigger than Boba Fett felt.
Yeah. Well,
the way it's staged and shot.
It's cinematic.
Yeah.
I think the first episode's more cinematic than the second. Like the second feels more like a TV show, but the first one felt like a movie. I don't know why the sets maybe lend themselves more cinematic.
Alderaan looked cool. That the Tokyo Madripoor was cool to see it, but there was, I don't know, that's the volume. Something seemed off. Like
something seemed like part of it was too much like a TV show.
Yeah, like a TV show.
I would agree. When they do like the sets where it's in the city, to me it looked good.
Yeah.
When they do the stuff where what's her face Riva,
Yeah, when she's
is
jumping the
doing like
rooftops.
parkour,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this looks like there's just a bunch of boxes that they just filmed on. Like this doesn't look cinematic.
But like,
anymore.
and why would Obi-Wan fall for this trap too? Like, it just seemed little too.
Why
I
would
don't think he
fall
had
for
a
the trap?
choice.
Yeah,
I guess not.
I think
Like he's the only one that knows that that's Leia. Like that's like, that's Anakin's daughter.
Yeah.
So
it seemed like that he's the only one that can really do anything about it, and he knows the importance of Leia too. He was kind of roped, like she had the jump on him.
Yes.
What's her importance though? Like it's obvious she's up. Like she's hunting him because she says
why.
She goes because it's what I'm owed.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So there's maybe she is one of those little kids, and she blames the Jedi for not doing more when the Order 66 on Route 66 happened.
Yes, just disappearing.
Well, why would Riva blame the Jedi? What did they have to do with it? Did they
I don't know
did they
shit.
allowed Anakin to be, or they allowed themselves to be compromised? Because like
maybe because they put so much trust in Anakin.
She let Anakin go bad because presumably
was Anakin the catalyst to all the everything ending? Is that because it was like because Palpatine turned him, and then he carried out a lot of like the murder of the young ones.
Yeah, Order 66 happens in that movie also, doesn't it?
So if she was there in Order 66 when Darth Vader, I think that maybe she is using. You could tell that she doesn't care about the Sith. I think she's using Ben Kenobi to get in with Darth Vader so she could kill him herself.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Let me illustrate this. So Palpatine gets, Anakin to become Darth Vader and start killing Jedi. She's one of the younglings that escapes. All of her friends get killed, but she escapes.
But then she gets taken by the bad guys. And
yes, but then she's still always got this axe to grind with Vader. And she figures out how to get to Vader through Obi-Wan.
Yeah, maybe she's like, you got my friends killed.
And if that would be pretty cool if that happened, but it's probably because I
think,
thought it.
and is she also gunning for like the top spot of the Inquisitors? Like, I like how she's a hothead. And the guy's like, Sun King's like, you go too far. And she's like, you're not going far enough. Which is kind of a neat dichotomy. I also liked in the beginning when they're like shaking down the people. It was kind of like a Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards opening where he's just sweating them. And I love that line where he's like, the Jedi hunt themselves. And then finally
they can't help but do something.
Yeah, so it's like she throws and he's stopping her from like killing people. I love the spinny red lightsaber. That was fucking dope. Is Flea dead? Did he kill Flea? I hope he's not dead.
I think he was knocked out by Spice.
Yeah,
and then
but then he was in front of the Inquisitor. He was asking with the spinny red lightsaber, and he was like, where did she go?
Oh, right.
And then you hear him scream, but then it cuts away.
Maybe he just cut his dick off.
Yeah, maybe.
Or just his hand or something.
He can't play the bass anymore in Red Hot Chili Peppers. I want to see more Kumail. I hope he comes back. Can't wait to see Anakin.
I don't know. There's the reactions from lots of people are crazy. You want to talk about some of our
yes. Let's get
our nation's reactions.
Let's find out what the listener thought. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'm in. There's only 4 episodes left.
They got to stop making Leia like parkour Leia, like running away from everybody.
Yeah, why are you running away?
Like super hard to handle. It's like Rocky chasing a chicken. It's like they can't never catch it.
Little Leia's a handful. And I bet like Luke, because he can't even talk to Luke technically, right? So I bet Luke there's going to be nothing with him.
So he can't, just fill me in, he can't interact with Luke at all?
I don't think he interacts with Luke until The New Hope when Luke goes looking for him.
Why does he not interact with Luke? Oh, because the uncle doesn't want
just
Luke
because
to be
of the
involved.
history.
Yeah, remember? He's like, stay away
There's
from
no real reason.
Yeah.
Other than that's the way they wrote it in the first movie. Like he just has always been watching from afar and never interacted with him.
I like Imran alluding to something, goes, remember, like as if I would remember something that happened in one of the episodes. no, like you're like as if I was a big Star Wars fan. Remember? I was like, no, I don't remember.
I just assume everybody knows Star Wars, and when I meet someone who doesn't, I'm like, but why? What happened? What happened to you as a kid?
Remember? No, I don't remember. That's why I asked.
Yeah, because he gives him a toy that's like referenced in The New Hope. So and yeah, Uncle Owen's like, stay away from him.
Does Uncle Owen exist in A New Hope?
Yeah, he dies in the he gets killed by the Republic in that movie.
Man, it's been a long time since I've seen
Remember,
it.
he burns their whole house down.
I know.
Remember?
I don't remember.
I'm going, remember?
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I remember. Remember Chewbacca? I remember.
I do. I remember Reagan, too. Those were the glory years.
Remember Reagan? Remember? Okay, let's find out what the nation thought of Obi-Wan. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Smelly. Okay, so we got split comments. Joe Henry, he's a big Star Wars guy. Joe Henry says, pretty good so far. Only thing is, did Reva kill the Grand Inquisitor? It would be breaking Rebels canon if she did. He's not.
They got to fix that.
He's not dead. He's because Rebels happens like 5 years after this show, I believe.
And the Grand Inquisitor gets a lot thinner and taller.
Yeah, they stretched him out after he got stabbed.
Yeah.
They just pulled him, right? Jesse Rodriguez says, that was the slowest foot chase I've ever seen in episode 1. That was strange.
Yeah, it was bad.
You know what?
They do it again in episode 2.
Yes, and she runs in the city.
Yeah, and then he needs to stop immediately.
There's a moment where she runs in the forest. The first one, she runs, and the guy's in front of her, and the guy just holds his hands up and goes, ah. And he doesn't grab her, and then she gets away. I'm like, what? They didn't even have to do that.
Super bad.
All you do,
Well, even episode 2, when he's chasing after, his hood is down, and everyone's on the hunt for him, and no one notices that Obi-Wan is chasing this little kid with his hood down. Like, everyone should have just been, like, shooting at Obi-Wan right on the spot.
Everybody got an alert on their fucking Apple Watch.
Yeah, and you have a Obi-Wan not at all hiding himself, chasing a little kid.
Yeah. And
everyone's got to be like, why is this grown man? That's Obi-Wan Kenobi not able to catch a little 5-year-old.
And they knew about the kid.
Let's kill him.
They knew about the kid, too. That one guy goes, there's the kid. Where is he? I'm like,
that was
you're
strange.
not hiding very well. And
that was
the
very
first chase, like, did they even have to show? They shouldn't. They just show her get a bag over her head, kidnapped, done. You don't need to have her fucking running around.
Yeah, that was
sliding under trees and shit.
No need for
Unnecessary.
that.
Okay, here's probably the most critical of all the comments. David Zika said episode 1 is garbage. Leia is good for a kid, but the story is bad and the effects look like Buffy 30 years ago.
I don't know about that.
Major step backwards.
Oh, shit.
Franchise would die if this was the entry point. They forgot that the key to Star Wars realism is everything has to look lived in. It all looks like it's missing final effects. The city looks like a screen test for Blade Runner. Is there anyone who likes this more than the new trilogy? Because I will fight you on my lawn.
Oh.
He says there is...
Dave, I got to step into the ring right there.
He says there's Christmas special, Ewok Adventure, then this Disneyfied turd as bottom 3. Wow.
The new trilogy, you got to be kidding me. The old trilogy, of course, doesn't hold a candle to it. But the new trilogy, I don't know. This is probably on par with it.
I think I might like this a little bit better than the new trilogy.
All I'm going to say is, where the hell you been, David Zika? It's nice to have
Zika's
you
back,
and
baby.
giving hot takes like that, giving fire hot takes.
We missed that. Remember the Batman versus Superman?
That's how we learned about David Zika. We're like, oh, this man goes hard in the paint on things he likes that no one else likes.
He will fucking
or dislikes.
Yes, and it's fantastic. I love the passion. So
he's good at this shit.
Listen,
he knows what he's.
If you talk about compared to the new trilogy, I don't give a shit about any of those characters, right? I'll give a shit about Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan because he's selling it. So
yeah,
it has that.
He is Obi-Wan.
He is Obi-Wan.
All right,
also,
he's been Obi-Wan.
In 10 years, Ewan McGregor is going to look like Alec Guinness. Figure that one out. I don't know how that works.
David Zika is just David Zika is Godzilla, just spitting fire everywhere.
Fire. He just burned that shit down
indiscriminately, just burning like half of Japan.
He torched
just
all
feels like
of
it.
Star Wars just then.
That's David Zika in a nutshell.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Zika. Paul Bracamonte cites, this show really created so many continuity errors. They didn't even try. Star Wars is about to be the new X-Men movie franchise. So far, it really doesn't feel like they had an interesting story to tell. They just made it just to make it. Prove me wrong, show.
No, you're absolutely right, but it's still watchable.
I think it's better than Boba Fett so far.
It's better than Boba Fett, yes. And
that's my bar.
I'm in. I can't wait to see fucking Vader fight.
Are there continuity errors?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
is it made just to be made?
Yes.
Without really adding much? Yeah. there's already established things that are happening after this. So yeah, it's not going to really change anything.
But you got Ewan McGregor wanting to come back. I mean, that was 2005, the last time he played Obi-Wan, a long time ago.
Well, let's do this because we'll make the announcement now unless we change our mind.
Yes.
Which we reserve the right to do because it's our podcast. Yes. But we won't be reviewing this week to week because of all the stuff that's coming out. So with that in mind, let's rank the first 2 episodes. Let's as a
rate it.
Collective, rate it out of 10.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
And I'll start.
Okay.
I will go with a strong 7.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's higher than I thought you'd give it.
Yeah, I mean, it was for Star Wars. Again, I did want to turn it off, but I didn't feel bad about watching. I was like, this isn't a complete waste of my 2 hours.
That's again biggest compliment you could give from you for Star Wars. Ruggs, first 2 episodes. What would you put it at right now?
If I'm gonna put it up against The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, I feel like it's first 2 episodes are as strong as The Mandalorian episodes for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would put it at a 6.5 or 7, just like Anthony, pretty much.
Yeah, I like it better than Boba Fett. I was thinking 7.5 for a good. Okay. It's a good solid start. You know, it didn't waste time. The Leia thing completely threw me, and I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting that they're pulling him back into being a Jedi, and so I'm not mad at it so far. We'll see if we can stick the landing.
You just gotta stop with the running kid thing.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Stop with the slow fucking chases.
For the listeners, we will do a recap and review the entire show once it's over.
When it ends. Yeah, when we get to what's out this week, and I think we'll give you a little thing of what we're doing, a little map of what's going to happen, because very soon there's going to be concurrent shows that we want to watch coming out at the same time. We can't fucking review all of them, so it's going to be we're going to hit the premieres and then we will hit it at the end. But for now, what are we watching, Anthony? You watch anything fun this week?
No, not really.
Nothing.
I've been catching up on a lot of Bill Simmons podcasts from like a couple of years ago, redrafts and rewatchables and things like that. But nothing, no movies or TV shows to speak of. Although I do have on my list for 80s action movies, I do need to still review that motherfucker that I talked about last week, which I already forgot. But I'll maybe do it in a collective review. What movie did I talk about?
What was that? What movie was that?
I don't remember already.
Fucking hell! It was only a week ago.
It was good though.
It was
Running Man.
Running Man, yes.
So what I have next up on the docket is I think I'm going to revisit RoboCop.
Oh, nice.
Some point this week.
Yeah.
And or see Action Jackson for the first time.
Oh, Carl Weathers.
Oh my God!
So
you know what?
Those are the next 2 that I'm circling.
This actor recently died, Fred Ward, who was Remo Williams. The Adventures of Remo Williams was like a big 80s kind of adventure character.
No, it's pretty bad.
It's bad. It was like a Jim Cotta level kind of.
Oh yeah,
you know. But it was one of those good bad 80s movies. Okay, that's all good stuff. Ruggs, what have you been watching?
So I watched Fast 9 because it was on HBO Max.
Oh, and
oh my God. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, it is they just making shit up. There's no. I mean, they've always done this. It's just gone to a level where it's just like, holy fuck balls! Like the last time when they were throwing cars through buildings and cars on top of each other, and oh my God, there's just so many things that are improbable and zero rhyme or reason. Like the biggest. I mean, yeah, you could drive a car off of a fucking cliff and Tarzan swing on a chain across and not die. Okay, fine. Okay. But then they have these magnets and the magnets just like they turn them on and whatever they want to happen, whatever the particular thing that they want to magnetize gets magnetized, but nothing else does. So it's just like at one point they turn the magnets on to pull, what's his name? The fucking wrestlers.
Oh, the Rock? John Cena.
John Cena, who's in a car through a building. I'm like, doesn't the building have metal in it? Like, so like, why just the car? How much? It just doesn't make any sense. Like the magnet just specifically knows exactly what Vin Diesel wants it to do. And so it's just fucking ridiculous and crazy. And I shook my head and rolled my eyes so much that I needed to like go outside and breathe fresh air after I saw that movie. I was like, my brain is like short of oxygen after this.
Well, that movie, although many would argue the series had already jumped the shark, from all the fans that are big Fast and Furious fans, and I haven't seen the movie, they're like, this is universally considered the one where they've really jumped the shark.
Yeah, and they retconned John Cena into this franchise because I guess to replace The Rock.
Yep. Isn't this one? Do they go to space in this one?
Yeah, they go to space. They fly in space. It's just not good. Now, I had to I felt so dirty after I watched that movie. I was like, I gotta watch something that's actually
real quick
good.
about the Fast franchise. The next movie is called, first of all, it's called Fast X, which sounds like some kind of antacid or something. It sounds like a fucking over-the-counter drug. Let me get some Fast X. I got a bad tummy. But joining the cast, fucking Jason Momoa, Brie Larson, Alan Ritchson, Rita Moreno. They're just adding adding names. They're just adding random people to Fast X.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening in these movies where they're like, because I think that when they did the bank thing in Fast 5 or Fast 6, where they did the bank vault, what was that, 5? Yeah. Fast 5? Yep. That was like, okay, that's crazy, but like, I could see let's bend reality just a little bit to make this happen. But when it's just literally like, if I was 5 years old, I would believe it, maybe. And even if I was 5-year-old, I'd be like, I don't know about this. But like, yeah, like nobody's believing this shit. It's like completely like not believable. So I guess that it's a movie. So like, you have to like, movies make things all the time. Like there's dragons that don't really exist, but you believe that there's dragons. So I'm supposed to believe that someone could fly out of a car who's human, and because you catch them with your car, that they don't just splatter like when they hit the windshield at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. It just, you know what I mean? It's just, they've been doing it for a few movies now, but it's just one of those things that turn me off a little bit, because they don't have to think about how to do something. They just have to, like, they're playing with their action figures. Like, I'm going to come here and I'm going to save you. Okay, there you go. So it's just like one of those things where, since there's no stakes, like nothing is going to hurt them because they're invincible. They even say it in the movie, like, we never die no matter what happens to us. So they acknowledge the fact that these movies are ridiculous, but it almost takes the fun out of it for me when I know that nobody can die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't have powers. There's no reason for them to not die. They're not ninjas.
They're aware they're in an action franchise.
They're hitting things with cars all the time, and it gets boring. So it's just one of those things. It's too much.
Okay, so you watched the Big Dumb movie. Now you have to reset your mind.
So I had a palate cleanser, and I watched The Northman.
Oh, that's quite a different movie. Fast 9.
It is a high art film.
Robert Eggers, who makes really weird movies.
One of the most expensive high art films that I've seen. Beautifully directed. It is fucking a crazy fucking movie. I don't even know how to explain it other than it's the story of Hamlet. It's like the story that inspired Hamlet. It's a old
Vikings
story, a Viking story about a revenge, about someone killing someone's father and him going out for revenge, and it kind of doesn't play out the way you think it does. It introduces a lot of like Viking lore and mysticism, and you see a lot of they do a lot of sacrifices. Like they're killing people all the time. They're cutting horses' heads off for spiritual rites. And there is this kind of, looming presence of the Christian religion coming to like wipe them out. And there is this kind of, idea that there was a king that united all of Norway or whatever this area is that and all these other kings were kind of insignificant. So even being a king at this time meant nothing. So it's a lot of like revenge and pageantry for like not really any real power.
Is it an action movie?
It is not. There are action scenes in it,
but it's not,
and it's very violent. Yeah. But it's just a very visceral trippy. Oh,
Trippy,
one of the things
really?
you find out, because the Vikings take fucking shrooms.
Oh,
shit.
nice.
And and the Vikings take shrooms to like see like the oracles and shit and like commune with the gods. And they get on in a hyper state of craziness. There's like some crazy shit in this movie.
That's the berserker mode thing, right?
Yeah, when they go into berserker mode,
that's awesome.
They the berserkers are like these Vikings that wear animal skins, and they take mushrooms and they just like get all fucking hyped up, and they're in like their own world and they're just killing people. They're killing children. They're just brutal. The berserkers were like slavers, so they would go into like a city and just kill everybody and just take a few of them to be slaves.
Whoa.
Like if you were too small, they'd just kill you.
Whoa.
If you were like too old, they just kill you. If you're like, okay, this is good stock of slaves, they would take you. And
how cut is that dude, Skarsgård?
He looks fucking like a beast. He's fucking with his shirt off for like the berserker scene, basically, and he's like ripped as fuck. And then at the end of the movie, there's a naked fight scene.
Oh, there's a naked fight scene.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's like, you want to see guys with their shirts off? Anthony, they got their pants off.
They got it
all right,
off.
they're fucking fighting buck naked,
And they're tripping on shrooms, fighting naked.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Whoa.
That's about right.
I enjoyed the shit out of that movie. I want to watch it again, but like, it is a long movie. It is a long movie, and it's not for everyone, and it's not for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to go to the theater and go, expecting an action film, which
that's
is
what I
not.
heard. Yeah,
it's an art film. It's a fucking freaky deaky, violent art film that is basically Shakespeare. That's what you're going to watch.
So Robert Eggers made The Lighthouse and The Witch, and
The Lighthouse is a weird fucking movie.
a weird movie. Yeah, he makes weird
it's
movies.
a weird fucking movie.
You know, it's great that there's something original out, right? We're seeing the theater bombarded with just IPs, franchises. Here's the problem. I looked up the box office on this. This is really sad.
$0.
The movie's budget was about $70 to $90 million. So far, worldwide, it's only made $66 million.
Yeah, it's never going to make his money back.
Didn't even
Never
make his money back.
This is not an enjoyable film.
Oh, it's
like
dark.
to watch.
Okay.
Like if you're expecting like an action like movie,
Like a Braveheart. It's not like a Braveheart.
No, it's not. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like
a man makes weird movies, man. That's all.
But I dug it. I thought it was original.
Would you recommend?
Only if you're an artsy fartsy dude.
Okay.
Like wants to watch an artsy fartsy Hamlet film.
Okay. What else did you watch?
I watched Love, Death, and Robots season 3.
Let's talk a little bit. Favorite episodes? Any ones that stood out to you?
Oh my god, these episodes. I don't know what's going on with our country.
They're really violent and dark.
Yeah, like these things are the fucking goriest fucking thing.
Oh
It was
my
like
God.
gore porn.
Yes.
Like really.
Yes.
My favorite episode. Oh my god! In terms of art,
I like the one in miniature. It was really short. Night of the Mini Dead.
that was fun.
One of my favorites is
What was the second one?
That's the one. Bad Traveling with the giant crustacean on the boat.
Oh yeah, that
one
was a fucking great one.
I think that one is by David Fincher.
Oh, is it?
Or Tim Miller? One of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really really well done. There was a lot of crustaceans.
There was a lot of crustaceans.
There's
a lot of
things
monsters.
talking through other things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spiders. There's a lot
There's
of fucking
one
that
that
shit.
had like amazing. The ones with the Marines had amazing. It looked like a video game, but almost like more
that
real.
looked like it was Cthulhu.
Yeah.
It was some kind of Into the Mountains of Madness or some shit like that.
Anthony, there's one episode. It's called Kill Team Kill. It's like 2D animated, but the cast is like they're all John Rambos. It's all made up of like over the top
Oh my God.
80s muscle bound military guys, and they're saying the most fucking non PC shit, and they're making these jokes, and there's a robot bear that they have to fight. And I just have to mention,
Yeah, they're not really reinventing the wheel here. They're like 9 times out of 10, these ones are like a bunch of guys go to kill something and they all get killed.
The best part of that one, this one dude who's like the Joker, he's dying, and he goes to his buddy. He's dying. He goes, "Tell my wife I fucked her sister." And he dies. And he fucking dies. That was his last
that was
words.
great.
I was like, oh my
So
God.
that one was actually very funny, but
Yeah.
like at the same time, the one there's at one point I had to just turn it off and skip to the next one. And that was the mouse one.
Oh, the mouse one was pretty good. You didn't like the mouse one? It was cute.
No,
it was
I just felt like it was like so fucking gross.
Okay, what about that really weird one, Jabaru, with that girl in the water and the deaf dude? That was
like the Northman.
Yes, it was. I probably because I was like, what the?
That's what the Northman felt like. It was not quite as visceral as that. That was like some fucking ballet shit.
The way
happening.
that girl moved was just so freaky, and like I couldn't stop watching it. But
it was great visually.
Yeah, visually.
It was just so violent. I would like to have seen something a little bit more cerebral.
This whole season was just nothing but fucking
like just blood and
death.
guts.
Oh my god! But some fantastic art, like fantastic CG. On a lot of them. The one with the 3 robots, the first one was all right, but yeah, my favorite was...
That was kind of funny. Yeah. See, that one actually made me think a little bit.
Yes,
so I thought,
that's what the other seasons were, and that's what I thought they were going to do more of, was like these that makes you think about your relationship with technology and the future and humanity, blah, blah, blah. No, this was all about monsters and fucking killing things.
I mean, it was definitely enjoyable, but it was just a little too gory for me. More gore... And a very, very similar storylines to every single thing.
Easy watch though, because the longest one is like 20 minutes. They're all pretty short.
Like the boys one, like each one was different.
Yeah, diabolical.
So like these are kind of like very too samey. But
so you didn't? Did anybody? Oh, Anthony, you don't watch the Stranger Things. Ruggs, did you watch the Stranger Things?
No, but I finished Ozark.
Oh, how was that? The second half.
Ozark finished. It's the last episode came out. Finally watched it. That show is great. I don't know about the ending. The ending kind of leaves you. It does close the chapter of what was happening this season, but I feel like, and you can walk away kind of going, okay, I know how it ends, kind of almost like a Breaking Bad ending.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wish, I don't know. I'm like, it was great. It was a great show. And I can't wait to start Better Call Saul this last season.
Oh, yeah, that's ending. I did watch, so I won't spoil anything about Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1. Again, spoiler thread in our Facebook group if you want to talk about it. I watched 5 of the 7 episodes so far. And basic overall, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. These kids have gotten older. For some reason, the one kid, Will, still has a fucking bowl cut, and he's like 17 years old. It just looks wrong. But every episode is a lot longer than the previous episode. There's a lot going on. It's very ambitious. There's more locations, but they're also, it's a little decompressed. It's a long setup, essentially, to get to what is happening.
I hate overly decompressed.
So I think this extended runtime is there's a little bit of bloat. There's definitely some bloat. Where like a simple,
it's like Walking Dead bad,
not that bad, but it's things where like a simple plane trip from one location to another takes like a whole episode when you're just slowing things down. Then they gotta go, we gotta go over here, and then they gotta drive over here, and one thing. But the story is kind of cool. This new bad guy is kind of cool. It's fun to see all Maya Hawke, Ethan Hawke's daughter, is really good in this season. She joined new last season. So we're gonna watch the rest of it and let you know once you finish it. We can talk about what you thought. I will mention one more thing because this Memorial Day weekend, I went to Door County, Wisconsin. I was in the car for a few hours, so I threw on a Spotify only podcast produced by David Goyer called Batman Unburied.
Oh, I heard about this.
It's not bad.
It's like Batman if his parents didn't die.
Well, sort of. That's how it starts, and then there's a twist. But you have Winston Duke playing Bruce Wayne Batman. Winston Duke, who's M'Baku in Black Panther.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Jason Isaacs is in this, Hassan Minhaj, Gina Rodriguez, Lance Reddick, John Rhys Davies. And it starts out, the first 2 episodes are weird because it's Bruce, his parents are alive, he's a medical examiner, and there's a serial killer on the loose. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then you do find out. There's the rogues gallery of villains. Barbara Gordon's in this, Renee Montoya, Detective Flass, of course, Alfred, and you got a bunch of bad guys, Riddler, King Tut, fucking, she goes to Arkham.
King Tut?
King Tut
King
there?
Tut is in this. There's a King Tut in this.
Well, that was from like the 60s show.
But it's canon. He's a canon bad guy. I watched, there's 8 episodes out, and it comes out every Tuesday. So I don't know how it ends, but I was digging it. It was great to fill the fucking 4-hour drive back and forth, getting lost in this good production, good voice acting. It's not bad. Batman Unburied. Check it out. Okay, out this week. Here's what we're going to be doing next week and moving forward. The Boys Season 3, 3-episode premiere, Friday, June 3rd. 3 episodes, and then every week on Friday, 8 episodes total. Okay?
Oh, shit.
So next week, instead of talking about the Obi-Wan new episode, we're going to talk about The Boys Season 3 premiere. And then what happens next Wednesday, Miss Marvel starts. Then that following Friday, Jurassic World Dominion drops. So, and then Umbrella Academy comes out 2 weeks later. So we're just going to hit the premieres of these things, review, I think, Jurassic World and whatever else we can. And then we will circle back and then talk about them when they're done in some fashion.
Sounds good
All right,
to me.
that's the plan.
Right.
So
And we still got to work in Bilotti at some point and do our 80s
yes,
showdown.
Yes. Is he back from his vacation? He was going on vacay.
Who knows?
Once he gets back, we'll squish that in there. And listener, if you want to know what we're talking about, I will post spoiler threads on episodes in our Facebook group. That's what we will be reviewing, so you can keep up and get your thoughts in the show. That's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come follow me.
That link is in the show notes, as well as links to our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, how to get in touch, how to support the show. Subscribe. Of course, you're subscribed, you're listening, but share the show is what I meant. Tweet it out, text it, send it to your favorite geek buddy, and they will thank you for some lovely geek content.
Spam all the nerd forums you're on.
Spam all your nerd friends and your non-nerd friends who are into Marvel movies. They will enjoy it. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
That's a big fuck up right there.